When last we saw our heroes, Sora was passed out in a pod thing, trying to get his memories back. Oh yeah, Shion's dead, so the memories of Kairi go back to Sora. But yeah, when last we saw our heroes, Roxas was passed. Oh no, Sora was passed out. Riku had taken the form of Ansem. Kairi still was like Kairi hasn't been relevant for like in the game for a while. She's still on Destiny Island doing her thing, and Sora is where's Sora? No, Roxas is in a simulation, but we don't know that at first because this game technically came out before 358 over 2 days, and then he used 358 over 2 days to explain things with Roxas and what was happening the whole year. Sora was asleep, but anyways, yeah, let's get down to business to defeat the Hun. Anyways, Roxas wakes up in Twilight Town with his friends. He goes hang out with his friends, Hainer, Pence, Olette. They do stuff. They go on adventure. At first, there's like, do I even need to explain what happens with them? There's a picture thief, but they also stole the word picture. All the pictures of Roxas. These characters in white jumpsuits. More on them later. Roxas gets the Keyblade to defeat them. He can't beat them with like a struggle stick. It's like a blue bat thing. But it's not really a bat. It's like shaped like a toy sword. But anyways, it's called a bat. Anyways, the next day, I forget what happens the next day. I think they were gonna go to the beach, but they didn't because they couldn't. What's his name couldn't make a beach. Diz, who was keeping Roxas in this place while Sora's memories were regained. They were going to go to the beach, but they couldn't because Riku appeared and his organization Hood stole the money, but no one else saw. No one in the simulation saw because obviously they're gonna make it to where no, we didn't see that. What are you talking about? You're crazy. The next day, I forget what happened. They were gonna go to the beach again, but then Roxas got sidetracked and he goes into like his own heart and. But wait, nobody's don't have hearts. That'll be explained literally in the last game. In the timeline, they'll be explained why Roxas has a heart, even though he's a nobody and shouldn't have a heart. He goes to the dive into his heart, where you can see like one of those glass things that the princesses are on the first game. It has Sora on it, and anyways, Sora on Destiny Island stuff with Riku and Kairi. Anyways, they fight. He fights nobodies. He fights a giant nobody, and when he wakes up, he's by this guy, I forget his name, Cypher and his gang and his buddy, like Roxas's buddies, Hainer, Pence, and Orletta, like, oh, you were hanging out with them all day. Then Hainer gets mad, and then the next day is the struggle tournament, and they fight. Roxas fights a few rounds. You have to fight Hainer, and then this guy Vivi, which is a friend with Cypher. They have to fight. Vivi just beats him, even though he's like a little guy with like yellow eyes that look like heartless eyes, but he's not heartless because time freezes when you have to fight Vivi, and guess what? You beat Vivi, then time freezes, and he becomes a nobody character, creature thing that you have to fight at the very first part of the game when you're trying to get those pictures back. Anyways, you fight him. You fight Axel, then Diz shows up. It's like, no, don't listen to him. He's lying to you. No, Roxas, he's deceiving you. This town is his creation. Roxas. And it's like, Hainer, Pence, what? And then it's like, time unfreezes. Those two are gone. Oh yeah, time froze after you beat Vivi. Time unfreezes, those two are gone, and just crowd is cheering as you beat Vivi. Then you have to beat this guy named Setzer. You don't have to beat him. You could lose, but I'm a pro. I beat him every time. Oh, and in between, I think it's either before the Vivi match or before the Setzer match. You can go to the alleyway where you guys were, that leads to the hangout for the Hainer, Pencilette, and Roxas. You can you can fight Setzer like however many times to level yourself up. Not Setzer, Cypher, the whatever. You fight him, whatever. Then you go up. You fight Setzer. You can win, which I do. And you win a trophy for like being Vivi. You when you're on the clock tower, you and your buddies take the glass balls from the trophy, you hold it up. Roxas gets up after someone shits like, "Hey, I got ice cream." Oh, I'll stand up. He falls off the tower, has like a mental connection with Kairi, Kairi, or like emotional, spiritual connection, whatever, with Kairi as he's falling. And Kairi shows a cutscene where she has like a bottle, a letter, and a note. Letter in a bottle for Sora, whose name she forgot, and no one else remembers Sora, but she remembers Sora existed, just not that he was what his name was, or even what he looks like. And then after that connection, she like throws the bottle because she passed out. She gets up, throws the bottle, it's like, I remember your name now, right, Sora? Because Sora is somehow connected with. Like when she has like a mental conversation with Roxas, Zora's like, "You forgot my name. Thanks a lot, Kairi." She throws the bottle after she remembers his name. And then Roxas wakes up and he didn't fall off the tower because it's a simulation. Obviously, the guys running the simulation can be like, "That didn't happen. You think it happened, but it didn't." It actually did though. And we're still, we're how many minutes in? We're 6 minutes in. We're still in the tutorial part of the game. Roxas. This is Kingdom Hearts 2, by the way. Roxas is you couldn't tell from the title. It's Kingdom Hearts 2. Roxas wakes up. Him and his buddies need to do a school assignment. He's like, "Did I fall off the tower? No, if you did, you'd be dead, idiots." They're going on the bus to go solve these wonders. Everyone pulls out their glass balls that they had from the day before, except he doesn't have his because Riku has it. Or should I say Ansem? Oh yeah, at one point, this isn't really important to the story, although it kind of is, I guess, a little bit, but not really. At one point in one of the cutscenes when they're watching over Sora's memories, like trying to like make sure everything's okay with him, they're just like, Diz is just like, so what's your name? Because Riku asks a question, or should I say Ansem? Riku, or Ansem, whatever. The hooded figure asks a question and is like, answer me this though, what's your name? Diz is just like that, and the hooded figure pulls back, and you see Ansem from Kingdom Hearts 1, it's like, my name is Ansem. I had to like remember what he said, remember the voice. It's like, it's an honor, Ansem, says Diz. Shh, we'll see why he laughs later. Because Ansem, haha, this is something funny with him later. Also, have you noticed that Xemnas is Ansem with an X jumbled around? Just a little thing to throw away, but Roxas X jumbled around. Oh, that's interesting. Xion is because #1 experiment, whatever. Anyways, they go solve the wonders, and really like a bunch of stuff happens. There's a bunch of nobody stuff that's like happening, or portals of darkness, but no one else sees it. Just Roxas. And then at one point, there's a train that's shown. It was only Roxas sees it. This day wasn't really important to the plot of the game. Shut up, Matt. Why would you go online right now? My buddy Matt is online on PlayStation. I got my laptop right there. Oh gosh. Okay. Remember, what was I talking about? Yeah. The wonders. They wonder why. Oh. But then there was the last wonder. I forgot. The last wonder, which was the mansion. People swear they see like a girl standing in the window. So they go to check it out. And Roxas sees Naminé in the window, who's Kairi's nobody, and more on that later, I think. I don't know. And she goes in. He like somehow is in there through mental telepathy or something, and she talks with him. He talks with her. They explain like, you're not technically supposed to exist. Like, why would you say that, even if it were true? Oh yeah, and a few days ago, and before the like whole going into his own heart and like fighting a giant nobody, Naminé like froze time in the simulation. It's like, I just want to meet you one time, and then unfroze time. So they met, and now they're meeting again. It's like, you weren't supposed to exist. She starts explaining some of the stuff I can't remember. Okay. nobodies don't exist. I can't remember what else was said in that cutscene. Roxas is snapped out of it by Pence, who's actually voiced by the guy who does Mac for, or did the voice of Mac for Foster's Home for Imaginary Friend. Little tidbit. Where was I? Oh yeah, he sees like Trenton flowing, but Roxas still sees Naminé. And then the next day happens, and no one can see Roxas, and he's being called to the mansion. But before he goes there, he has to fight some nobodies outside of their usual hangout spot in that alleyway. But after that, Axel goes to attack him, and he's like, whoosh, and then freezes midair, or just freezes in time. And you just hear Diz's voice like, Roxas, to the mansion, no! So Roxas goes to the mansion. You can fight some nobodies along the way. You meet a new variety of nobodies too. There's these like little ones that are like legs that walk around, but they can transform into like swords or shields so that you can't hit them. Swords so they can swing at you. Then there are these ones that like can go into the ground and like their wings can like and you can't hit them when they're in the ground. But there's like a triangle command button you can do to pull them out, and then you can wail on them. And when they jump out of the ground, you can also wail at them. And don't let them get in the ground. If they're in the ground, I just avoid them if they're in the ground. But anyways, you meet them along the way, or like you go to the mansion. You have to unlock it with this Keyblade, which every time those things show up, the nobody's Keyblade appears. Wait, nobodies weren't explained, except they were in that last game, so whatever. My brain needs to cool down. You go in the mansion, you go through, fight, you go to the basement after you draw a thing. Wait, no, first you talk to Naminé in her room that's like completely white with all her drawings. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm Axel's best friend, aren't I? Because Axel's trying to bring you back to the organization. That's right. He's like, you can't remember anything, do you? And then when you meet him in the alleyway, it's like, what's our boss's name? I don't remember. I just know you're Axel, my best friend. It's like, oh, dang it, now I have to fight you. Then you bring him. Then you talk to Naminé. Diz shows up. It's like, no, nobody doesn't have a right to know anything. You'll Naminé's like, we'll meet each other again, even if you won't disappear. I'll disappear? No, I just said you won't disappear. Then she gets like pulled into a thing. Naminé. Diz is just like, no, shut up. Okay. Then Roxas goes to the basement, fights some nobodies after smashing a computer, fights Axel but has two Keyblades, then goes to see a pod with Sora in it. It's like Diz shows up in hologram form. It's like keeps trying to kill him, but he doesn't. This is all cutscene at this point. Not the fighting Axel. That's a real thing. But finding Sora and then trying to kill Diz, that's the cutscene. And then before Sora wakes up, Roxas is just about to like go away. It's like, looks like you're lucky. You're lucky, Sora. Looks like my summer vacation is over. And then Kingdom Hearts 2 logo shows. Sora wakes up. We're done with Roxas for now. We're done with Roxas. Oh my goodness. How long did it take to get through Roxas? 13 minutes. That last video was 16 minutes. This is 13 minutes, just the tutorial. Sora, Donald, and Goofy wake up from their year-long sleep. Oh, and Jimmy's there too, because he's important to the plot, I guess. He's not important to the plot of this game, but he was there. He goes to his journal. The first game's like, they're trying to remember what they did. We fought Ansem. Oh, wait, no. Later they try to remember. He looks through his journal. Thank Naminé. Well, that's all that's written. Who's Naminé? They don't know because she had to wipe them. She had to wipe herself from their memories in order to restore their original memories. They go out, they try, and Sora's in his Kingdom Hearts 1 outfit, but like a year older, like taller. It's like, you look awkward in that outfit, my boy. He goes out, they go out, Sora, Donald, and Goofy go out, they find the usual spot where Hayner, Pence, and Olette, not Roxas, because technically he never existed in the real world, in the real Twilight Town, although they see him in the game for 3 or 2 days, so they did meet him. But anyways, Roxas Sora goes to their usual hangout spot, and they're like, "Hey, um, what's going on here, guys?" You know, because they don't know where they are. They don't know what they're doing. I think we gotta find Mickey. We gotta find King Mickey and Riku. You know, let's do our thing. So they go to the usual spot, and it's like, well, there was this guy looking for you if you're Sora, Donald, and Goofy. He had these big round ears. And I had to think about that for a sec. Sora, Donald, and Goofy, like, what do I know that has big round ears? Oh, the king! So they go out to the train station where they were told he was at. And then a bunch of nobodies show up and they have to fight him, and you fight a bunch of nobodies, but then cutscene activates. It's like, oh, there's too many of them, and Sora's about to like take a beating, a savage beating from this dusk nobody. When all of a sudden you see tiny hooded figure, hooded like the organization, but big round ears with his like Kingdom Key D, like Mickey had at the end of the first game. Just not today, son. He just beats them all. He beats them all. He's like, you gotta go out, take the train. It'll know where to go. You gotta go find Master Yin Sid. I think they said that. No, he didn't say that. But you gotta take the train. Go take the train somewhere. And then he runs off, and Donald and Goofy are like, I want to follow him, but he's our king, and he told us to go take the train. They take the train, but not before 100 pence and Mickey Mouse gives them a bag of 5,000, a lot of money. He gives them a bag, and it also has a blue crystal like the one that Roxas had. And the bag of money that was taken from Roxas, it looks suspiciously similar to that. Sora. Oh, and you get a trophy from the guy that sets Cypher when you beat some nobodies. And a championship belt. Anyways, Sora shows the money pouch that he gets, and then the Olette girl, she's like, oh, we have one of these too. That's so weird. I have an exact one, but I only made one. Anyways, they leave on a train to a magical tower. Pete's out there trying to turn horrors inside into Heartless. It's Master Yen Sid, which is Disney backwards. Remember that. It's not really important. I just thought you should remember that. Master Yen Sid, so you beat fights them Heartless, then Pete's like, I'm gonna turn Master Yen Sid into a Heartless. Down and Goofy like, oh, that's Yen Sid. They go up inside the tower. They have to go through doors and stairways that are floating, they're portal doors, whatever. Then you get to the top after fighting a bunch of Heartless, and in the middle of all that, Down's like, more Heartless. Didn't we beat these guys a while ago? What's going on? Or didn't we already beat these guys? Not a while ago, but didn't we already beat them? What's going on? They get to the top. Master Yen Sid explains everything. Heartless are running everywhere still, but there's the new enemy, the nobodies, and some of them look like the basic form that you've seen. The Dusks. He magically makes magic holograms of them appear, and then he's like, someone such as you and has a hologram of Donald can become a Dusk. It's like, no. Donald's like, I would never, unless you fell to darkness. Because, like I explained, nobody's come when someone with strong hearts, their heart is taken, and they have a strong heart that leaves behind a strong will or whatever. Their soul and body become a nobody, and some of them take the form that they used to have when they were a somebody, like, say, Axel. We'll get to his somebody later. Or Sayax. We'll get to his somebody at the same time. Or Xemnas. That's confusing. I don't fully understand that yet. There's stuff to the plot I don't understand. He explains the bad guys, the ones that look like humans, they're really strong, and the nobodies altogether, like, they're more thinking than the Heartless. Those are just like off instinct. Nobodies, they plan, they think, they're smart. But the strongest of them formed an organization, Organization 13. There were 13 members. Bing, bang, boom. What was I saying? Oh, and after you left, Ansem was supposed to kill Axel, and Naminé was like, you know what, you guys helped me a little bit, so just go on. he lets Axel go, and that will probably be a bad thing for later. Shut up, Richie. Anyways, where were we? Jens said explaining things. Explains who Organization 13 is. We don't know their goal, even though we learned it in the 3 over 2 days. But that is a game that came out after Kingdom Hearts 2, so we don't know what their plot is yet, even though it's to make Kingdom Hearts and get their own hearts for themselves. Oh boy. Then you go into another room and get some new clothes from the good fairies. Then you go back to where Yensid was, and he gives you the gummy ship, and all the new clothes have new drive powers, but those aren't important to the plot, but they're cool. You go Master Yensid, he gives you the gummy ship, you go out, you leave, you can only go to one world, which is, I almost said Twilight Town. Hollow Bastion. So you go to Hollow Bastion, you, I don't remember. You go to Hollow Bastion, you meet up with everyone from all the Final Fantasy characters that you met in the first game. Leon, Sid, Yuthi, Aerith, they're part of the Hollow Bastion Restoration Committee, but they've got problems with Heartless, and so it's like, those guys, they're like, so Kingdom Hearts 1, what you need to deal with is the nobodies. Oh, look, some nobodies. They're trying to destroy a bridge, or not a bridge, door to get into a certain area, and you fight them. Then the organization shows up, all 5 of the members that are left or whatever, because everyone else is dead or gone, or traitor, or whatever. So it's like 5 people you have to deal with. And they're egging you on, and then one of them gets close. It's like, you're a traitor, whatever. Zigbar, shut your mouth. Then you, Oh, and everyone forgot who Sora was, all the Final Fantasy characters, until he woke up recently, because Naminé's memory power thing that affects the memories of Sora and those connected to him. Oh my goodness. 22 minutes and we're still like an hour into this few-hour long game. Not an hour worth of playing, more than an hour. Anyways, okay, so Sora is, yeah, they find, you're given a card by them, Restoration Committee card, non-area member. It glows, you shoot, a beam comes out of it, unlocks a keyhole that you have to unlock, or reveals a keyhole that you have to unlock, and then you can go to other worlds, like Mulan, Beast Castle, and Hercules. But those aren't important to the plot. Literally nothing that happens in those worlds is important to the plot at the beginning of the game, except for Zeldin is showing up messing with beasts. He's there, he's an organization member. They'll be important later, but for now, it's kind of stupid. What happens in Hercules' world? Oh, Demyx shows up with his sitar. He starts messing around. Pete, I think, shows up, and he makes you unlock a thing, or Hades does. Again, not really that important to the plot. You unlock those worlds, you go to Disney Castle, this is somewhat important to the plot. Disney Castle's under attack, darkness is filling it, we don't know why. Then there's a portal that leads, or then Merlin appears, or you get Merlin, he opens a door to the past. Like black and white old Steamboat Willie show world. You have to fight the villains there. You have to stop Maleficent, because Maleficent's still a threat. I say threat. You have to stop Maleficent from being stupid and using the past to take the castle. Yeah, but Pete opened it with his heart because he wanted to go back to the good old days. You put Pete back in the future. Sora locks his door so he can't use the future past, and then you go back to the future through your own door. And then Disney Castle is saved. That's kind of important to the plot. And then there's the Little Mermaid world. Literally has nothing to do with the plot. We can skip over that world. That has nothing to do with the plot. It's just a button, some button mashing, some button timing, sing along world. You don't need to do anything in there. You can completely skip that world. It's not the worst world, but you don't need to go there. Pirate World, Pete shows up again, trying to cause trouble. Aladdin, Pete shows up. Matt, how did you get back online again? You were already online. Stop going back online on PlayStation. Anyways. Um, I said, what did I say? I said pirates, Pete shows up, causes trouble, tries making Heartless. Like what happens in the world. You basically, first time through the world, you have to deal with Pete and Maleficent showing up, causing trouble. Then, I forget what you go to first. You go back to, like, Twilight Town, I think. No, Twilight Town's gone. You go back to Hollow Bastion. You go to the Tron world because that's somewhat important to the plot. Tron world's in Hollow Bastion. Oh my gosh. This chair is uncomfortable. You go to the Tron world. You have to help fix the computer, and eventually you do. My leg is itching. Okay. You go to the Tron world, and then oh right. So like, oh, Maleficent's back because the good fairies remembered her. Because you remember her. Then she returns or something stupid like that. What's next? What next? What next? What next? You have to fight 1,000. Okay, so you and all your friends have to fight people in the Kingdom Heart, in the Hollow Bastion. First you fight Demyx. Then you have to fight 1,000 Heartless. Oh, and after you fight Demyx, Goofy dies. Gets hit in the head with a giant rock. I swear, they try to make you believe Goofy's dead. Gets hit in the head with a giant rock, and this is where Mickey Mouse is just like, oh, you done messed up. He's just like sitting there in this like organization cloak. It's like, oh, no, what happened? No, Goofy? And then he like looks off to the side, holding his Keyblade. It's like, they'll pay for this. He like pulls off his organization cloak, and so you can see the shadow was right there for my arm. That'll look good for the green screen. You can, what was I saying? Pulls off his organization cloak and he just runs off like, no, they'll pay for messing up with Goofy. Donald just runs off screaming like, that was actually pretty accurate to what it sounds like. Then Sora's like, this is not happening. No, and then he runs off, and then you have to... Matt, you literally... What are you doing? What are you doing, Matt? I can't mute it because my remote's all the way over there. Anyways. Sora runs off too. You have to climb the mountain or whatever, fight Heartless along the way, help different Final Fantasy characters. You see Stitch, he's just blasting people. By the way, you get Stitch as a summon. But before all this happens, before you have to fight Demyx again, before Goofy's dead and all that, okay, you meet King Mickey in Ansem's study, because Ansem used to be the king of Hollow Bastion. You meet Mickey there. First you go to the Tron world, then you meet Mickey. You need to find out like this password to the DTD, which is known as the Door to Darkness, which it's the 7 Princesses of Heart. And then Mickey explains after you get back to the real world, after you go back, you go to Tron World, and then you explain, basically he explains Ansem, the guy you fought in the first game, was an imposter. Because the real Ansem looks different and is a good guy. He's known as Ansem the Wise, not Ansem Seeker of Darkness. And he had an apprentice named Xemnas. Oh, Xemnas is the main bad guy of the whole series up until 3. But I digress. We're going to move forward. And, he's causing all these problems. He's the one who pushed forward in the study of hearts and why the Heartless exists. Not Xemnas, not Ansem, normal good Ansem, but... Anyways, what was I? Where was I? Yeah, he goes around calling himself Ansem, the heartless version of Xehanort's, and his nobody. Well, who's his nobody going to be? Remember Xemnas? I mentioned that guy. He is the main bad. He is the nobody of Xehanort. Ansem is the heartless. Okay. You explain all that. Fast forwarding back to the going up the mountain and stuff. Sort of the Stitch connection made me remember because you get Stitch around the same time you learn about the Ansem and everything. Anyways. Oh, and Mickey gives you another form. A third form, because you get, like, the drive form. You get the normal, like... They're not important to the plot, but you get them and they're cool. Okay. You climb up the mountain fighting, and then as you, Donald, and Goofy are, like, getting ready to, like, go forward, you just hear, "Hey, fellas!" Goofy's just like, "No, I'm not dead. What would you think I'm dead?" And then it's like, then Donald just gets mad and, like, whacks him with his staff. "Don't you ever scare me like that again, man." They go in, you to fight 1,000 Heartless alone. That was not fun. You fight 1,000 Heartless, then Xemnas shows up. It's like, whatever. It's like, I know you. You're a bad guy. You're, what's his name? You're the Xemnas is. You're Xemnas. You're Xehanort's nobody. That's what he says. Sora says. It's like, yes, I am the bad. You whatever. It's like, where's Riku? Because Sora the whole time's like, oh, have you seen Riku? Hey, hero of this world, have you seen Riku? Hey, Santa, because you meet Santa in the Nightmare Before Christmas world. Have you seen Riku? This is where Maleficent shows up. Then the Lion King Pete shows up in, like, a lion form. It's really weird, man. Pete does not look good as a lion. Don't never do that again, Disney. He's, like, constantly asking, do you know where Riku is? It's like, why don't you ask your king? Because King Mickey knows where Riku is, but he's hush hush on that. So Sora, Mickey's just like, go screw yourself. It's draining on me trying to explain the plot of this game. I don't have a script because screw scripts. I'm going to go off memory, man. Anyways, even though that worked so well for me when I skipped the whole bit where they explained who Ansem really was. I know I forgot something from that part, but whatever. Going forward, Sora then goes to, like, a cliff area. You move forward, you meet this guy, Saïx. No, first you meet... It's probably worth mentioning that in a cutscene for one of the worlds, Kairi is confronted by Axel on the island. This is before we get back to Hollow Bastion. Kairi is confronted by Axel. She, Okay, I'm very stupid because I forgot to mention so much stuff. Kairi is confronted by Axel on Destiny Islands. Pluto shows up. You hear a portal of darkness opens up. Pluto runs through. Then Kairi goes for that. She wakes up at Twilight Town. And then eventually, when you go back to Twilight Town before Hollow Bastion, you find out Kairi got kidnapped. That's important to note. Axel kidnapped her. Going back to meeting Axel. Axel kidnapped Kairi. They start talking. He's like, where's Kairi? He's like, whatever. And he's like, Axel's revealing information. Saïx shows up like, shh. Axel gets out of there. Saïx is like, you really care for Kairi that much? How much do you care for her? He gets on his knee. Sora's like on his knees, like, please, give her back to me. To which Saïx is like, well, in that case, no. And then he, like, sends a bunch of nobodies on them. Basically, Maleficent helps out. Maleficent helps out. Never thought I'd hear myself say that. No, I did. I've seen this game a few times, played this game a few times. Maleficent helps you escape. You're, like, sucked into the realm of darkness with a box that has ice cream, which, yeah. In this scene, you get sea salt ice cream, which then Donald proceeds to eat because he's a big fatty, fat, and a picture of Hayner Pence and Olette, and Roxas standing in front of the gate for the big mansion. from some hooded figure that looks like an organization member. We don't know who he is. Anyways, something that never made sense to me was as Goofy is dead, Donald's like, "I'm sorry, I ate the ice cream." What are you talking about? The ice cream scene happens after this. I think they goofed up a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm just gonna move on. You get that you start going to the other world, the worlds again, and let's see. In the Mulan world, you see a hooded figure. We don't know who it is. He has he has the same fighting stance as like his hand is like that, but out. He has the same fighting stance as Riku. Okay, that's weird. And he warns the bad guys about or the good guys about a Heartless invasion. Which why would the organization do that? But there was an organization member there, but he was a bad guy, Demix. So who's this person dressed up like an organization member doing? Why'd he warn the good guys? Sora thinks it's Riku. So then they go to Beast Castle. You have to fight this guy for a while. You have to fight Demix, organization member. You kill him. He's dead. Whatever. Now I'm not mentioning secret bosses because they're important. One secret boss that's important to the plot, sort of. Really just like setting up for a later game. Anyways, you beat Zeldin. He's a little pushover. He's not a pushover. Oh, and Demix isn't a pushover either. You beat him, he's dead. You beat Zeldin, he's Demix. You beat him in Hollow Bastion before Goofy dies, just before that happens. He's not a pushover. Neither is Zeldin. These organization members are... Oof, okay, what happens in the Hercules world? Nothing plot-worthy. I don't think anything plot-worthy shows up there. You don't go back to Disney Castle. Pirates of the Caribbean. Luxord shows up and he's doing his thing. So organization member shows up there, but other than that, nothing plot worthy. Oh, I forgot to mention in Hollow Bastion just before Maleficent shows up and then helps, it's revealed that whenever you use the Keyblade, the heart goes towards the bad guy's Kingdom Hearts. Because they're collecting hearts, that's creating their Kingdom Hearts. That's an artificial Kingdom Hearts. That's not the real Kingdom Hearts. We'll get more into that later. Going back, let's see, Pirate World, Luxord, Aladdin World. No organization member shows up there. Night Before Christmas, no organization member shows up. Lion King, no organization member shows up, so those are all just self-contained stories. Then Sora goes to Hollow Bastion again. Oh, and Twilight Town is like, you cannot go there. Oh, and there's like a weird reading off to the side, like, what is this? It keeps getting stronger, and then eventually it reveals itself as a world that you could go to, but not really. You can't land there until you go there first. How can you go there but not land there? I'll explain in a minute. You go to Hollow Bastion again. You fight with the Tron. Oh wait, no, this is optional, I guess. It's sort of important to the plot. You fight with Tron one more time. Beat the MCU. No, that's Marvel. So MCP, I think it is. And then it's revealed the whole time that Hollow Bastion was really a place called Radiant Garden. That's going to be important to the plot later. Whatever. You then go to Twilight Town, go into the mansion, and then go to the basement. There's a computer that looks a lot like the one Roxas smashed before. Oh, and the whole time people are like throughout the game, the organization members are calling him Roxas and stuff. Like, traitor, Roxas! It's like, what are you talking about? I'm Sora. Anyways. You go in there, you start going, you go through the basement, go past the computer room, go to the room where you fight Axel as Roxas. There's like a portal of darkness, you go in there, and... Did I say fight Roxas? Fight Axel. You go through this portal of darkness thing. It leads you to this realm of nothingness. A bunch of nobodies show up. You have to fight them. And who's alongside you? Axel. So you have Axel there. He's there. He's you being buddy. He's being your buddy now. Then he like puts his whole being into like fighting. Yeah, he puts his whole being into like killing the bad guys. But it turns out that kills him, and also nobodies don't have beings, except yes they do, because Roxas has a heart. It's shown like he's very strong and has emotions. Because if you don't have a heart, you don't have emotions. So how could you feel, anyways? I know I've skipped important stuff. How long is this one? Half hour so far? 40 minutes! Oh my gosh! Anyways, you go through another portal that leads to the world that never was. You start going through, and then you fight Roxas. After you get to the skyscraper, you like go into your own heart, fight Roxas. He's like, "Why did Keyblade choose you?" Oh, and then he like floats up and sees you on like that's glass thing in nothingness again. It's like he sees you're part of the picture. He's like, "Oh, that's why." Then it's like, "Oh, you make a good other," and then he like just fades away. You go through. You start going. You have to get to the castle, but before you do, Kairi like holds hands with Naminé, who appears in the dungeon, and that like causes a light signal that makes a bridge for you to go up to the castle, for the castle that never was, for the world that never was. You go through and fight organization. You first fight. Okay, I'm getting myself winded thinking. My brain is getting winded. You go through. You fight Xemnas. No, Xemnas isn't there yet. You go through. You first fight Xigbar, and during the cutscene before Xigbar, it is revealed who Demyx is. Not Demyx, who Diz is. The character who we didn't know. His head was wrapped up. He laughed when Riku called himself Ansem. We revealed he is Ansem. Ansem the Wise. That's why it's funny. Ha 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 ha. Oh, it's an honor, Ansem. Ha ha. Not really. You're not really Ansem. I know who Ansem is. I'm Ansem. Ha ha. He's like trying to get revenge on Xehanort / Xigbar, who's Xehanort's nobody. When I said Xehanort, it's like, wait, no, Xigbar's the nobody. But I'll recover that sentence. He's trying to get revenge by destroying Kingdom Hearts. He has this like thing that will like evaporate Kingdom Hearts. Xigbar is just like, whatever, traitor. When Sora's like talking, it's like, why does everyone keep calling me Roxas? My name's Sora. Then you fight him. He's dead. Then you go further up. You see Kairi's given a Keyblade by Ansem. You see that it's like, who are you, Ansem? Then you eventually get up to that point. You like see Ansem's there. Ansem's there in the organization hood. You're like, you're a bad guy, but you helped Kairi, so I have to be thankful for that. And then Kairi's like, no, look. And he makes you hold hands with, when you're happy to see Kairi. He makes you hold hands with Ansem. It's my last time doing that. And close eyes, and then you see not Roxas. So many different names with different letters. You see Riku there. It's like, Riku, it's you. He starts crying. I looked everywhere for you, man. Riku. And that's why people think Sora might be gay, but that's where a lot of the fan art starts coming from. Because they like each other. There's clearly something going on there. Anyways, where was I? And so he starts talking in his normal voice, like, I didn't want to be found, you know? Then you go through fighting more. You go through to this graveyard thing where different graves for different organization members stand. You go through Portal 1 that has dice. You fight Luxord, but alone. It's time-based, and he's like gambling. You beat him. Nope, no one's coming in. You then fight Saïx. You There's no plot, I think, to that. Nothing really too important, but you're just defeating organization members, which is important to the plot. But no cutscene important stuff. You fight him. You kill him. He's like got moon powers. That's his element. You then continue on a little bit. You see Ansem, the actual Ansem there, Ansem the Wise with his beard stuff. Ansem the Wise. He's like trying to digitalize Kingdom Hearts. Mickey's like, "You're an idiot." Not really, though. Mickey didn't say that. Mickey's like, "What are you doing?" "I'm trying to get revenge." Like, "Oh, I don't know. It's a good idea." Then like the machine backfires because you can't digitize hearts. They're not like a thing that you can just be like controlled like digitally. They are hearts. And then his machine blows up. It's like, "I'm sorry for causing so much hurt to you, Sora and friends. You know, you young people. I'm so sorry." And then his machine blows up. Riku's got his form back, so he takes off his blindfold. "Why were you blindfolded?" So he's like, "Well, I didn't want to, like, didn't want any lies. Like, and who were you trying to fool?" Anyways, he takes off his organization cloak too. His blindfold organization cloak. He's normal, but he still has dark powers. And his bandage on his hand, which wasn't there before, Roxas like caused something to put it there. Oh, and after you beat the game, you can go back to the Disney Castle. There's a portal. You go through there. There's a secret boss to the Lingering Will, which is the armor of a character from a later game that takes place earlier in the timeline. Later game. It's a game that comes out later, but it's a prequel. Lingering Will. That's somewhat important. It sets up for that character. It's a suit of armor. Say suit of armor. It's like armor with like a cape. It's cool. Lingering Will looks super cool. Anyways, you keep going up. You're fighting more Heartless. Not Heart. Oh, you have to fight Heartless now too, instead of just nobody's in the world that whatever was because Kingdom Hearts was destroyed. And Xemnas was just like, "All right, well, fine. Everyone go for it. Like Sora, collect more hearts." You get to the top of the tower. Xemnas, you have to fight him after you and him are teleported to the skyscraper, but it's like floating island skyscraper. It's not regular skyscraper. There's like, okay, you fight him, you beat him, then he disappears, and then a door appears. The worlds are like, "No, you have to beat this man." You go through the door, you beat him again in a few different forms. It's like, all right, it's tops, it's good. You beat him, it's over. But not really. Everyone's like pushed. Everyone's put away to their world or to Destiny Islands or whatever, except for Riku and Sora. They have to fight him one more time in like two different forms or three different forms, like his ship that he's a part of, and then and Sora and Roxas are like merged together. Finally, Naminé and Kairi are merged together. Finally. Okay. Trying to remember anything plot important. You beat Xemnas after one final form where he has like Keyblade thing, not Keyblade, he has like lightsaber things that come out like here's like he shoots lasers too. But like he has a bunch of lasers like surrounding you, like they make like a dome. The area that does not lasers make like a dome. He like and you beat him. It's like an organization robe, but it's like got white mixed in too, so it's like a cool swirly design. Anyways, you beat him, but then you're stuck in the area where you fought him. You go into the world of darkness. You and Riku are just on a beach in the world of darkness. Like, you know what? Sora's like, "Well, if this world needs the dark, we'll be the dark, whatever." And then a message in the bottle shows up that Kairi threw out on Destiny Islands. Riku picks it up, starts to read it. "I think it's for you." And then the interview wherever the note says to Sora starts reading it, then the narration goes to Kairi reading it, and I think maybe back to Sora. And it says, "Thinking of you, wherever you are. We pray for our sorrows to end, and hope that our hearts will blend. Now I will step forward to realize this wish. And who knows, starting a new journey may not be so hard. Or maybe it has already begun. There are many worlds, but they all share the same sky. One destiny." And then after he reads that, a door of light opens. Sora and Riku go through it together, and they end up like crashing down into the water. The waters for Destiny Islands. They swim back. It's a big reunion. Everyone's happy. Sora and Kairi hold they're like, we're back. Sora's like, we're back, and Kairi's like, you're home, and like you see Naminé and like, where Kairi is and Roxas where Sora is, and then they take hands and the I've got 4 minutes left on the able to record, and my battery's low. Let's hurry this up. The charm that he promised to give back is in his hand when they hold hands. They hold hands. That's the end of the game. I can't remember the end cutscene. Oh no! Sora receives a message in a bottle. It's from the king. And then they have to go off on another journey. And then there's like a little teaser thing for Birth by Sleep, and that's it. That's the whole thing for Kingdom Hearts 2. Okay, I don't think I missed anything. I've got to go. I'm gonna go see what's up with dinner. I've been doing this for almost an hour, considering both games I just did 3-5 over 2 days, and Kingdom Hearts. I thought Kingdom Hearts 2 would be not as long, but apparently it was over 2 times longer. Anyways, that's the plot of Kingdom Hearts 2. That's all the important stuff, at least. That's all the important stuff that fits in the timeline. I don't want to do this. Anyways, I'm gonna record later when my battery's charged and when I have more room on my laptop. So I'll just get the footage off here, put it on my flash drive. Anyways, thanks. Bye.